Hi, Mark. Thanks for polishing the podium. I knew there was a job I was meant to be doing. I hope you're okay. I think that's right. I hope you don't mind moving up a voice part. Well, I'd like to think that anyone who lives near Manchester will be here today because the weather outside is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. It's very Mancunian today. It's fine, I don't mind talking to myself for a little bit. Looks like there are a couple of people here. No probs, Mark. I sent you some more actually, so you've got nearly all now. Gosh, it's been a busy time for me with self-isolation choir. It's one of those things where there aren't any buses and then 3 come at once. Gosh, that's a lot for you, Mark. Hello, William, lone tenor. Hello, Paul and Nancy. Yeah, I agree. Horrible day here. Absolutely horrible. William, you're not alone. Yes, I feel like I would like an open fire today and almost a mulled wine, I'm thinking, would make me feel a little bit better about this weather. But maybe just a good pint of Guinness and a bag of cheese and onion crisps in front of an open fire in a cosy pub. I think that's what I'm after. Or a Rossini tenor sectional. Either suits me. It's definitely acceptable at rehearsal. Definitely. You don't know what I've got down here that I'm drinking. No, I'm not. All I have is water. Hi Olivia. Horrible weather there too, I see. Yeah. Yeah. I did go for my run today, and I left when it was dry. Not particularly nice, but it was dry. And of course, as soon as I left the house, plip, plop, plop, plop. And I was soaked within minutes. But sometimes when it's like that, you feel better for it, you know, at the end when you're warm back in your house again. So, silver linings. Just a couple of minutes to go and then we will begin. A small bunch today, but it's quality, not quantity. Hi Don, don't worry. Oh, washing up first. Sounds boring. Still got a couple of minutes if you can do that washing up quickly. Catherine, coffee at 8 a.m, that's the one. That's the 8 a.m. drink. Yes, I'm just talking about my 3 p.m. drink. I don't drink Guinness at 3 p.m. Just so everyone knows. Only in the holidays. Well, we're nearly ready to go. Just a short warm-up today, as you know, so if you want to be making some funny noises at your end, then do. And also, if you'd like to find figure 42 in your copy, so that's in the Et Resurrexit, figure 42. That is, of course, where we will be beginning today, as you know. I'll be on in the background. That's where I belong. Well, tenors, I think we should begin. It's wonderful to be with you here today, and as it's so miserable outside, I really do feel quite warm and cosy to be here making some music. So hello, and you know what's on the menu today. We are absolutely going to crack Et Resurrexit Allegro, so figure 42. Let's begin with just a little warm-up, just to say hello to our voices, and then we will tackle this slowly and carefully so that we've absolutely got the notes here in this session. And then, as you know, you can return to this video whenever you want to recap going through it slowly with me. Okie dokie. So if you just start by finding a nice sitting position or standing. I'm staying seated in my what do I call this? My technical box of dreams. I'm just surrounded by technology here. I'm going to have my feet flat on the floor, making a real connection there, and growing through the back of my spine and the back of my head, feeling a little bit taller and prouder than normal, just jiggling out the shoulders. Oh, I've had a lot of computer time today, and this feels really good. Oh, hi Eric, good to have you here. And hopefully once you've done that, your shoulders just feel that little bit lower, a little bit more dropped and relaxed. And if you want to add to that feeling of low shoulders, just drop your hands by your side so they feel like kind of weights beside you, and they keep your shoulders down by hanging there freely and easily. Okay, so my favourite warm-up exercise, as you know, we're going to breathe in for 4 and out to a shh for 8, just feeling nice and calm, no crescendo today, just a straightforward shh beginning to end. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, shh, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lovely. Sustaining right to the end, please. Really simple sound, but a completely pure sound that doesn't falter. Okay. Now on a s. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And finally, a f. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, and f. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right to the end. Great. Okie dokie, something pitched. Let's start in a nice place for tenors. So there's an E for you. And from here we're gonna go. Ooh, no, let's do it on a zh today. Like what's a zh? A zh for the French. Jardin. One, two. I love the zh is you really feel the resonance inside you. It's a great sound to make, and it's also quite hard because it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of breath, it takes a lot of control and support from down here. So make sure that you're connecting with that support system that we've just used to get our shh in the unpitched warm-up. Make sure that you're really connecting to get the zh to kickstart, to be there and to stay without faltering as we sing. Let's continue from here, shall we? This is that is not where we got to, is it? Maybe it is. G. 1, 2. Last one. Now from here, we're going to ping open to an R. So we're going to have ja, and I want to see the moment that you release to the R, it's actually going to be quite explosive. Ja, so that we kind of ping into this R, and it's going to be a mask of the face R. Ja, rather than ja, which is jawry. We want masky, please. Ja. 1, 2. Right up to your G sharp, which you may well need today. We have some pretty high notes at the end of this movement, but luckily we've got a little bit of time to warm up with the beginning of the movement first. So, tenors, could you please find figure 42 in your copies? Figure 42 in the Et Resurrexit, as you know. It's the Allegro, and for me it's on page 150, but I know that we have different pages between us. So page 150 for me, in the middle of Et Resurrexit, figure 42. Okay, so we had a look at your first entry here yesterday, but I think there's no harm in looking at it again today. So figure 42, tenor entry, there you go. And we're going to start first with no words at all, but I do want you to put a new T at the beginning of every single note. So we'll have ta, 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 and so on. 1, 2, 1. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, and let's just try that entry one more. Just going to move my microphone. It's a little bit in the way today. Okay. Ta, and 1. Ta, 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 ta. And on that same entry now, we're just going to put the words in. Amen. And 1. faster now. And 1. Amen, amen. And even faster now is 1. Amen, amen. Wonderful. Now let's move on to your next entry. So just count along the next 6 bars and you find your et vitam, your first entry on the main theme. Et vitam. And we'll put the words in this time. I like the words on et vitam because I think they're actually really useful to learn the notes alongside with. So slightly slower is 1, 2. Et vitam ventori seculi. Amen. 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 And I'm going to stop at that final amen there, okay? So we've got quite a few more notes at this point. This is one of those fiddly bits. And actually, you know, the more I go through these vocal parts, the more I think there are some fiddly bits, but actually a lot of it is really manageable. This is a fiddly bit, okay? So we're going to spend time on this. If you go back to where we began, so after figure 42, your second entry, so it's bar 167, 169, or after figure 42, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 bars after figure 42. Et vitam. 1, 2. Et vitam ventori seculi. Amen. 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 Can we just look at that final 2 bars? Amen. Amen. Just at the end there. After 1 is 1. Amen. Amen. And again. And 1. Amen. Amen. And now go back 3 bars earlier, so to the next amen, okay? The one before that, the amen before that. Amen. 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 So these final 3 amens. And 1. Amen. 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 And again. And 1. Amen. 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 Faster is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 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 Even faster is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 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 And I'm trying to, as I increase the speed, I'm trying to keep my voice light. I'm trying to keep a kind of dancing feel to each of these amens, so they really feel like they bounce along. Now before that, it's the main melody, which we worked on yesterday. So we've got the main melody, and then we've got this little twiddly bit. Amen. 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 Okay? So I think we can put this all together and go back to figure 42. Back to figure 42. Sorry. After 2. After 1 is 1, 2, 1. Amen. Amen. 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Et vitam ventori seculi. Amen. 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 Fantastic. Okay, this is really great work. Now we're going to continue. So the next few phrases are lovely repeated patterns, which we love. So as we continue, we have Amen. Amen. So we have 3 repeated patterns to begin with. Let's start with them and then we'll look at the little fiddly bit leading up to figure 43. So if you can count back from figure 43, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And this is where we began. 3 of these in a row. 1, 2, 1. Amen. 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 And just watch that D natural on the way down. I was a little bit sharp there as well. Amen. So 3 in a row, 3 of those. Fine. Then, fiddly bit before figure 43 is Amen. So we have lots of patterns in that, but I agree, it's a little bit fiddly. So let's have a look at that again. Just before figure 43, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars, which is your and 1. Let's try that again. And 1. Just the last 2 bars before figure 43. 2 bars before 43 is 1, 2. Amen. And again. Amen. One more time. Amen. Now faster. 1, 2. Amen. And amen. And amen. Now let's go 7 before figure 43. So back to this last passage. Is 1, 2, 1. Amen. Well, that is what I call section 1. Yes. Can we go back to figure 42? Let's go all the way through that. Figure 42. Is 1, 2, 1. Amen. Amen. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Et vitam ventori seculi. Amen. 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 Nice one. Okay, we get to figure 43. I'm calling this section 2. And you'll be really glad to know that section 2 starts with ah. Hooray! Let's try this, shall we? After 1 is 1, 2, 1. Amen, amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2, 1, 2. Et vitam ventori seculi. Amen. 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 And that moment there, poof, is where I've put a next line just to say that's the end of a section. Okay, that's going to be section 2, and we're going to move on into section 3 in a moment. Just to break it down, really, just so we feel like it's all in manageable chunks. Now, a lot of that section 2 of this, for me, is repeated material, sometimes slightly different. So let's just notice a couple of those main moments where it's slightly different. If you go back to figure 43, and we'll go through this again slowly, and there's one place I really want to stop and talk about. So figure 43 is 1, 2, 1. Amen, amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen. 1, 2. And this is really important because we now go et on an A instead of a B. Before we went et vitam, ya ba bam. But this time we go et vitam, ya ba bam. So ya ba bam. This time da da da, da da do, da da da. So this A is super duper important here, okay? Straight on this A. Et vitam. 1, 2. Et vitam ventori seculi. Amen. 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 So now, if we do a line down the page there, won't you? So that bar that we just reached is going to be what I call 43B, okay? Where we just got to. Amen there. So before 43B, just 2 bars, that's rubbish. 4 bars before 43B. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's the A. Is 1, 2, 1. Amen. Amen. It's lots of shapes that we've already covered, isn't it? Which is really nice, and we must be making these kind of musical connections with the material we've already learnt. Okay, let's try this same section again. So 4 before 43B. 1, 2, 1. Amen. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now before that, so can we now go 7 bars before figure 43B? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars, and you're on a B. Amen. Is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 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 Lovely. We'll do exactly that again, please. 7 before 43B. Amen. Is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 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 Great. And Don is now here, having done the washing up. It's great to have you, Don. Now then, everyone, let's go back and cover this whole section now from figure 43. Figure 43. like hitting the first note, do I, again? Every time. Be precise. Figure 43 is 1, 2, 1. Amen, amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen, 1, 2. Et vitam ventori seculi. Amen, 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 amen. Fantastic. Well, that's sections 1 and 2 covered. I would like to put them all together now. So can you go now all the way back to figure 42? All the way back to figure 42. This is really great work. Is slightly faster, yeah? 1, 2, 1. Amen, amen. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Et vitam ventori seculi. Amen, 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 Yes, tenors. Fantastic. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, this is section 3. I'm calling this moment 43B, as you know, and this is going to be our third section. So, again, let's spot some repeating patterns here, and we're taking this up to my new 43C. So I'll tell you when we've got there if you missed that yesterday. So, carrying on. Is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen. Itself is going to be 43C, please. It's where the sopranos come back in with et vitam, and it's our big moment of kind of return to the main theme. So on the forte, please, 43C. Just gives us some markers to cling on to. And that's the end of section 3. So let's have a look at the beginning of section 3 again. If you go back to figure 43B, and the first thing we had was 3 repeated phrases, right, that just went up each time. So that's really manageable. Let's try those first 3 phrases. So, Amen is 1, 2, 1. Amen. phrase 1. 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen. Okay? So 3 phrases going up each time. Let's try those 3 phrases one more time and then we'll continue. 43B is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen. Hooray! So, first 3 phrases. Now let's carry on. 1, 2, 1. Amen. Stop. Okay, so we're stopping just before the pianissimo there. Now that is a slightly awkward group of minims, and I think we should look at those once more for pitching precisely. So count back before the pianissimo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars, which is where you begin. 1, 2, 1. Amen. Ooh, breath. Let's try that phrase again. We get into a nice cycle of fifths, don't we, at one point? But then at the end it just changes. So let's just try that again. Is 1. 1, 2, amen. Great. Now let's try that forte, please. Forte. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, amen. Then we carry on, pianissimo. Amen. The end of our section here, section 3. Now, what I'm going to call this final bit of this pianissimo bit, is noodling. We do a lot of noodling around the same notes. We just kind of noodle, and it's just a matter of staying focused and making sure you really do read the pitches on the page and don't just guess what's coming next, because it doesn't quite go where you expect it all the time, because it does kind of just noodle. That's the only word I can think of. It just kind of does that. So let's go before figure 43C back to the pianissimo. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 bars before the pianissimo. Before 43C. It is the pianissimo. 1, 2. Amen. And notice now that 3 bars before the forte, before 43C, you start to crescendo and you lead us right back to the forte. And it's really important you do that, because at the forte, we get the main theme from the sopranos. Et vitam venturi. And we're off again, okay? So it's really important that we get that crescendo. I wouldn't mind doing that pianissimo section just once more, and then we're going to put all of section 3 together. So back to that pianissimo, please. Noodle. 1, 2. Amen. passage is a really good question. For me, it's going to have to be a stagger breath situation. So a little sneaky breath somewhere that we don't notice, that would be masked by the rest of the choir. A good place to think about these is where it kind of makes sense within the phrase. So for example, ah, 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 a little lift, you see, ah, ah, yeah. Just see where that kind of works for you, Don. But it's a very good question. And if you look at the poor basses, they sing a B under this whole pianissimo section for the whole time. So they're definitely going to have to stagger breathe. Right, tenors, we're doing so well. Let's go back to figure 43B now and put all of this section together. 43B. For me, it's bar 232 and it's page 158. I know it's a little bit different for other people. And a couple of bars on is where you first come in. Amen. Where we began that pattern of 3 repeated phrases is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2, 1, 2, 1. Amen. Hooray! Oof! We're doing really, really well. I'm really pleased, and we're sticking bang on schedule as well, which is always great. Now then, look at 43C for me. We've just finished. Amen. And what do we see? Our favourite beginning. Amen. Amen. But it finishes earlier this time. Okay, so we have a slightly different finish here. This is section 4 of my little chunked down allegro. So let's just have a look at the beginning of that again. 1, 2, 1. Amen. Amen. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Et vitam venturi seculi. Amen. 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 Poof, figure 44. And that is the end of section 4. That's really short, isn't it? Now, in terms of the material that comes back here, of course we recognise it, but it's slightly different, isn't it? It's slightly shorter and then it has different tail ends to it. So in moments like this, don't fall into the trap of just singing what you kind of remember from before. I always would do a big warning sign or, a literal exclamation mark in a triangle on the page. It's different, so that all alarm bells are ringing, just to remind yourself. Especially for me, as one of the traps is on a page turn, for me, I could carry on singing the tenor line that I remembered, but it changes. Let's have a look at this again, shall we? So figure 43C, but your Amen ascending scale. The bar afterwards is 1, 2, 1. Amen, amen. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Et vitam venturi seculi. Amen. 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 And we're going to look at those last 2 bars before figure 44, because I think those are the only real sneaky bits. Here's 1, 2, 1. Amen. 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 Nice. Good. Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to put these last 2 sections together all as one. So we're going to go back to figure 43B. Do you know what? Why not save the faff? Let's go back to figure 43. Figure 43. Is 1, 2, 1. Amen. Amen. 2. 1, 2, 1. Amen. 1, 2. Et vitam venturi seculi. Amen. 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 2. 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2. 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2. 1, 2, 1. Amen. One, two, amen. Amen. 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Et vitam venturi seculi. Amen. 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 Great. Yes. Now, figure 44, we actually looked at this section yesterday, didn't we? Just a little bit. So let's do this slowly now. Figure 44 is section 5, my final little chunk. And we end up into our huge amen chords. So I'm just going to take this a little bit kind of gently when we get there. And I want to just say that it doesn't matter if you don't sing all of the top Gs right now today, okay? Sometimes it's better to just pop down the octave just to learn it. And then when we're doing a run through, then go up the octave. But right now, as we're learning it, don't hurt yourself by singing top G as we keep rehearsing it too many times, okay? Top G is very different for me in my alto range than it is for your range, okay? So the second bar of figure 44 Amen is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2. Amen. 2, 1. Amen. 2. Amen. Amen. And I'm going to stop there because we go into a long passage of minims, so I want to speed up for learning that, otherwise it gets painful. So let's just look back at figure 44 again. Figure 44, and we'll just learn this fiddly bit first. So the first one is up to a nice C sharp. Amen, amen. And then the second one is to a C natural. Amen. We get the kind of blues feeling. So amen. The second one. Amen. There's something a lot more painful about that C natural to me. Okay. Figure 44 is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2. Amen. 2, 1. Amen. 2. Amen. Great, tenors. Now let's do figure 44 again, and we'll carry on, but we'll speed up a bit this time. Is 1, 2, 1. Amen. 2. Amen. 2, 1. Amen. 2. Amen. 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 Light. Amen. 1, 2. Amen, 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 amen. 2, 1, 2. Amen. Amen. Fantastic. So we get 2 big chunks of that, don't we? Completely repeated, of the minims, that is. Now let's just look at that little fiddly bit near the end of this section, before figure 45. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 bars before figure 45. You're on this B there. Amen, amen. Let's do this slowly. It is 1, 2. Amen, 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 amen. Let's do exactly that again, please. 1, 2. Amen, 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 amen. Same thing, slightly faster. Is 1, 2. Amen, 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 amen. And again is 1, 2. Amen, 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 amen. Fantastic. Now let's do exactly that again, but continue round to figure 45. 1, 2. Amen, 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 amen. 2, 1, 2. Amen. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, men. And then, as I said yesterday, at figure 45, the soloists sing this 3-4 bars as if they were somehow helping you all that way through the allegro. No, they were sitting still. So they get their 4 bars of diva, sotto voce, beauty, a cappella, tiny, and then we get this little tiny little organ accompaniment. Ooh. And then in you come, credo, with the most exciting credo of the work so far. So your tenor notes, we've got tenor 1s on the F sharp, credo, and the tenor 2s, credo, leading note, ba-bum, credo. And we're going to have the k before the beat, as you know, credo, off. How exciting. Well, what I want to do is just cover that section 5 one more time, the final section of our allegro. And then I'm going to suggest we sing the whole Et Resurrexit with Robin, so the tenor voice highlighted, and we'll talk about that in a minute actually. So let's go back to figure 44 to begin with. Figure 44, which is back to your Amen, the C sharp, the happy one, is figure 44. I'll just give you a moment to find it actually, that was a bit cruel. 44 is 1, 2, 1. Amen, 2. Amen, 2, 1. Amen, 2. Amen. 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 1, 2. Amen. 2. Ah, 1, 2, 1, 2, men. Little soloists, little organ. That will be a lot shorter once we're going at the right speed. Fantastic, tenors. Well, shall we do this thing? Let's go back to the beginning. Now, before we start right at the beginning, by the way, so movement 10, et resurrexit, because it doesn't hurt to remind ourselves of the beginning of this with Robin. Before we do this, we will get to the allegro, and some bits you will be fantastic at, and some bits won't be quite ready yet, okay? That's fine. Don't worry, please, 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 please. We've only had under an hour really working on that. So please come back to this video, spend a little bit more time working on those trickier corners, those little fiddly bits, the noodly bits. And don't worry right now. This is just to see how we're doing, okay? So, Et resurrexit with Robin from the beginning, very beginning. It's page 129 for me. And it will be somewhere before figure 38, between 37 and 38. Okay, let's go. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Here we go.
Scendit in cielo, et ascendit in cielo, sedet al dexteram, Patris, et iterum venturus est cum gloria, judicare vivos et mortuos, cuius regni non erit finis, Spiritum Sanctum Dominum, et vivificantem, Patre Filioque procedit. Qui locutus est per profetas, et unam sanctam Catholica, et sanctam catholicam et apostolicam ecclesiam credo confiteor unum baptisma confiteor unum baptisma in remissionem peccatorum expector resurrectionem expector resurrectionem 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 credo Amen. Amen. Et vitam venturi seculi. Amen. 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 Et vitam venturi seculi. Amen. 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 Et vitam venturi seculi. Amen. 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 Amen.
Hooray. Well done, tenors. Great work today. Thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to bringing this all together next week. And next week, as you know, we'll be moving on to the end of the work at the Sanctus and the Agnus Dei, which is the last week of the course. Can you believe it? So thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Goodbye.